So I want to talk about this entire flag situation, and this includes literally everything that we've seen so far, season one, season two, and we're even gonna go before that because I want to talk about what Top Drives was like before flags and what Top Drives is like after flags. So before I get into the pros and cons, let me just tell you in my personal opinion what I think these two options bring to the table, okay? So, Top Drives before flags gave players the idea of joining when we wanted and playing when we wanted. Obviously, there was no, flag system that would prevent us from getting certain tiers. So, in a sense, there was more flexibility to everything. People didn't feel like they needed to play every, couple of hours or so. They could join when they want, they could play when they want. And that's a good thing because at the end of the day, this is a game, it's not a chore. So ideally, you kind of want to play when you want to play. You do you. Another thing that we had before flags was there was obviously the possibility of late joining, which some people obviously didn't like. Now, usually I would say that the people that don't like late joining, it's because they have pretty crappy hands. I'm sorry, I don't want to be mean, but that is the reality of the situation. If you have a strong hand, then it doesn't matter who late joins because you will be good enough. But that being said, the possibility of late joining is always a con to many players anyway. And obviously before flags, there were no extra rewards or incentive. There was no bronze 1, 2, 3, 4, no silver 1, 2, 3, 4, no frontier, whatever it is. There was none of that, right? And then after flags, you can still join when you please. There's nothing stopping you from joining in the last 5 minutes. Yes, in a literal sense that is true, but in reality you are forced to play more and work harder, which tends to make the game feel more like a chore. You should never really force anybody to do anything. You should let people do what they want. I'll tell you a quick story. When I grew up a Catholic. My mom's Catholic, and when I was a kid, my mom would always force me to go to church. I'm an atheist now. Why? Because I literally had school from Monday to Friday. I had to wake up early for that. And then on Saturdays, I had some kind of sport practice, like I was on the swim team. So I would have to wake up super early and swim. So Sunday was really the only day I saw as like the only day I could sleep in, and actually rest. But then nope, 6 a.m. mom comes in the room, wake up, it's time to go to, seriously, it's just things like that. Don't force people to do things, especially if they are playing a game. But there is a pro, which is there are extra rewards and incentives. So I want to talk about the pros and the cons for what life was like in multiplayer before flags were introduced. Number one is the idea. Once again, the idea of joining when you please and play when you please. So the pros to that is the flexibility. And I gotta say, it only looks like there is one pro here, which really there is, but this is a very, very massive pro. This is a 10 out of 10 pro. The flexibility of play that suits all player lifestyles. Listen, man, Top Drives is a very unique game where the demographic is very broad, and I know this because I make YouTube videos, right? The demographic is broad, but the player base is niche. So there are not a lot of people, but they come from all walks of life. Look at my Patreon, for example. I have, patrons as young as 16. When Wyatt joined, I think he was 15. And when he started watching my channel, I think he was 11. And some of the oldest, or should I say the wisest, members of my patrons, they go up to 55, 57. I'm not gonna name any names, but you know who you are, right? So obviously, it's broad. There's no set demographic, which means that there are a bunch of different kinds of players that play the game. Some go to school, some have full-time jobs, some may be couch potatoes, but either or you are one or the other. Right now, what I am, I have 2 part-time jobs, which makes 1 full-time job. I have the boxing gig, and obviously I try and make YouTube videos and content every single day and stream and all that kind of stuff. So, I'm also very, very busy. I'm playing clubs. Clubs, I'm gonna be honest, clubs is a full-time job in itself. But obviously there are cons to this, right? There are late joiners, there are ticket spammers, and obviously late brackets being made, resulting in easier brackets. See, one thing I never understood was why didn't Hutch just make joining in the last 4 or 5 hours impossible? Isn't the entire point of bringing flags to promote play and prevent late joiners? Because yeah, late joiners are somewhat prevented, but they can still ticket spam. I literally did this yesterday in a daily. I joined the daily with like 3 hours to go. Obviously, I had no time to get the 15 races in, so I just serviced cars and I bought tickets. So that doesn't, and I ended first place, and I literally knocked out the actual other person in first who was probably there for the entire day. Yeah, I ruined his entire day, and I was laughing while I was doing it. But what I'm trying to say is that flags doesn't really solve ticket spammers, but I'll talk about that later. So what I'm saying is that if you really wanted to cut late joiners, ticket spammers, I mean, yeah, last 4 or 5 hours joining impossible doesn't really help the ticket spamming part, but it will fix the late joiners, you know what I mean? But yeah, late brackets being made, that's always kind of annoying, because obviously in like a final, if you get lucky, you get a brand new bracket, not 500 people join in, maybe only 200 people. Obviously the competition is going to be easier, you have less people to play. So yeah, those were the cons, and people knew that for a while. Hutch tried to fix it, but they failed over and over again. Now, let's talk about after flags. So after flags were introduced into the game, the pros were literally just the extra rewards and incentive. That was it. It only brought extra rewards, extra incentive. Other things that kind of fit in a gray area is, it probably made the game more competitive. That is a good thing for some people. That is a bad thing for some people. So I'm not going to list it as a pro or a con. But what definitely are cons, in my opinion, is obviously being forced to play. You should never be forced to play a video game. It's a video game. This is something most people, obviously I've made it a job out of it, but like most people play this game to relax, to have fun. They should not feel like they need to do something, right? And that obviously incurs stress. It's a stressful experience. And the problem with what flags is, one of the biggest problems in my opinion is that it actually fails to fix the cons that were occurring before flags. So like I said, it prevents ticket spamming. I ticket spammed like a day ago. I got first place in the daily, knocked out the person that was there for the entire day. So yeah, that didn't help. And late brackets, I mean, they can still be made. They can literally still be made. That just means that if a late bracket opens, everyone has to kind of ticket spam to get all of their races in, but late brackets can still exist. So it's not a good look for after flags, because after flags, yes, there is that one new positive, but it brings more cons, and it also keeps the cons from the last time before flags. You see where I'm getting at here? So yes, like I said in the conclusion, before flags, the multiplayer life suffered some pros and some cons. The addition of flags failed to fix those cons, yet it added more. The only thing that saved it from immediate failure was the relatively incentive awards, and I really do mean this. The only good thing about the flag system are the rewards. So let's talk about the rewards. I've already made an entire video about this about 4 days ago, okay? Like I said, yes, it did increase my play, but not by much, right? So I think Hutch wanted people to play a lot more. Rewards didn't make me play that much more. I'm gonna be honest with you. Maybe I was like 10%, 15% more competitive at most. Like that was it. And like I said, one thing I said that I really genuinely remembered in that video was I'm motivated to play only when I'm close to a carbon fiber. I'm a visual person. I'm a visual learner. I'm a visual earner. When I'm close to that goal, then I will go hard to get it. Right, so Season 1 rewards did that. It had actual carbon fibers for us to win. But now let's talk about Season 2. Season 2, they took away the epics. They took away the titanium pack, which is honestly the biggest, clickiest, baity pack ever. I put that in the thumbnail and I get views, right? And it's the same thing. You see that you're close to that and you're gonna, try and beat everybody in every event that was ongoing to try and get you that epic, especially if that prize is next. You know that you're only like 80 flags away from it, then obviously you're gonna go hard for that, right? So they took away that, right? They took away the pack images, the pictures, so that's less incentive in my opinion. But on top of that, I mean, I'll let you guys analyze this photo by yourself. Credit to GoGuess obviously for this photo, but do you see something here? You're getting less rewards, right? So let's say that in season 1 I started from bronze. In season 2 I'm going to be starting from bronze or silver. Basically I'm starting in bronze 1 going to silver, right? So in season 1, in my bronze journey, which also requires less flags, so easier to accumulate and get these rewards, I'm earning 20,000, 30,000, 40,000, 50,000 before I hit frontier. In total, that is 140,000 cash, right? And some ceramic packs to boot. Now, in season 2, obviously you don't want to start at bronze. You want to go to the frontier as quickly as you can. So you start in silver or you start in bronze 1. So I'm starting in bronze 1 right now, and I'm getting 40K, then I get 50K, right? From silver 4 and 3 with 25, 25, and 15. That is, if my math is correct, 105 or 115, well 90, so yeah, 105k compared to 140k in the first stage of a new season, which is pretty freaking atrocious. Not to mention, now I know what you're saying, oh Blossom, but at least silver is giving you carbon fiber fragments. Once again, I have no incentive in competing for fucking hexagons and pentagons. I don't know how many sides, I can't remember the photo, it's too irrelevant for me. But yeah, yeah, they're carbon fibers here, these are ceramic packs. But here's the thing, right? In the frontier rewards for season 1, it gave you both carbon fibers and epics. In this frontier, you're only getting the epics. You're not getting any carbon fibers from the frontier in season 2 as you did in season 1. So let's compare carbons to carbons. The only carbons that we get in a particular season. In season 1, I got 4 carbon fibers. You get 2 singles and 1 double. Now it takes 5 fragments to get 1 carbon fiber, and you earn 15 in total. I'm not good at math, but I know 15 divided by 5 is 3. So in season 2, I'm getting less cash and I'm getting less carbon fibers as compared to season 1. So they actually nerfed the only positive that flags fucking brought to the game. So in short, basically in the new season, you get less carbon fibers, you get less cash, and you get less incentive because you're not competing for a pack anymore. You're competing for, as I said, fucking hexagons and pentagons for the same amount of work. Honestly, even more work. You go back to this, like I only needed what? So the flags that you needed, what? 50, 125, 250, 450. Now, since I'm starting from bronze 1 to silver, I need 370, 520, 695, and 895. So honestly, that's a typo. You're getting less carbons, less cash, less incentive for more work. You need more flags, which means that you need to perform better in more events, which means you need to race more for, and again, I cannot stress this enough, less carbon fibers, less cash, and less incentive, okay? So basically, they nerfed the rewards, but they didn't nerf the effort you need to play. They didn't nerf the time you need to invest. They didn't nerf the amount of cons flags brought to the game mode. You see where I'm going at with this, bro. This is so messed up. Because flags, the idea of bringing flags to the game was already pretty controversial. If anything, like I said, it brought more cons. It didn't fix anything. So the only saving grace were the prizes, and now the prizes are being nerfed. All I can say is that in conclusion, this entire thing, I can kind of see the point. But as it is what I believe is the Hutch way, good idea, shit execution. I feel like they do this for almost everything that they do. They have good ideas, but when it comes to actually doing it, they just shit the bed. Like seriously. So honestly, how do I feel about everything? Yeah, I'm just not motivated. I know a lot of people are not motivated to play the game anymore because of the flags. I've talked to a couple people in my server. I've seen some people tell me that they quit, and obviously that doesn't just affect the game, that affects me too, right? So like, yeah, I mean, it's just dumb. It's just another Hutch masterclass of bullshit. And I don't think they really weighed their pros and cons correctly, because all I can see is that the negatives are outweighing the positives. I know what they were trying to do, and like I said, the idea was good, but the execution and the planning was just not there. And it's just, if this was Robin's work, I wouldn't be surprised. I'll just tell you that. But anyway, guys, that's going to be it for today. I hope you guys enjoyed today's video. Let me know what you think about everything in the comments below. I would love to hear what you guys want to say. But anyway, I hope you guys have a great day. We're going to stay safe, wash your hands, and blossom out. Peace.
Bro, this song just makes me so happy.
Me too.
Imagine being Asian in the 50s, looking nifty, leather jacket, looking sleek, look like Presley, look so deadly. Got a jukebox back at home, feeling jazzy, turn it on and play it slow, like the movies with the ladies.
They so fine.
Imagine being Asian in the 50s, looking nifty, leather jacket, looking sleek, look like Presley, look so deadly. Got a jukebox back at home, feeling jazzy, turn it on and play it slow, like the movies with the ladies.
They so fine.
Sit back, relax in my Bonneville Pontiac. Hold tight all night, cruise to Jacksonville.